A while ago, I received this comment on one of my videos that essentially was saying that Canon is now overpriced and super expensive, and if you want to take a nice photo, you have to shell out hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and the community immediately jumped in to defend the budget hobbyist photographers and all the stuff that you can get on the used market. And you know, I can see both sides of this. All major camera manufacturers nowadays have release prices that are so expensive for their super high-end gear, even though they are still releasing cameras that are in the regular consumer price points. And the camera setup that I have is really expensive, but that doesn't mean it's the only way to get a clean image. So we're going to take my most expensive camera setup and we're going to put it up against the absolute cheapest and oldest functional camera that I still own. So let's start with the specs, because on paper, this is not a fair fight. This is my main camera setup, and it is the Canon 5D Mark IV from 2016. It has a 30.4 megapixel full frame sensor, an advanced 61-point autofocus system, weather-sealed magnesium chassis, dual card slots, and a host of other features. If you were to purchase this camera today, 10 years after it came out, on sites like KEH or eBay, MPB, or Adorama, a lightly used camera is going to run you somewhere from $750 to $1,100 depending on its shutter count. And it is still a really good camera. And paired with this unit, I have a 70-200 f2.8L series lens with image stabilization. And this lens alone is going to run you between $600 to $900 used. And to go up against this, we have the Canon Rebel T2i, or the Canon 550D. This is an entry-level unit that came out in 2010. It has an 18 megapixel APS-C crop sensor, a 9-point autofocus system, a fully plastic chassis, and only one SD card slot. However, you can still get this camera today for under $100. And this kit lens that comes with it, an 18 to 55 millimeter lens, which still has image stabilization, you can get from around $30 to $40. In the computer world, you'll hear a lot of verbiage about bottlenecks of components. What happens when you pair the highest end part with some of the more budget style parts? And in some scenarios, that can work out just fine depending on what you need it to do. In photography, a lot of people get it backwards. They think that it's the camera body that makes the image look the best. But in reality, your camera is just the motherboard of your photo system. It simply processes and stores the data. The lens? This is like your graphics card. The lens actually handles the light, controls the depth of field, and it dictates the sharpness of your image. And this is why you will see camera lenses that are typically significantly more expensive than the camera bodies they're mounted to. And so for some baseline comparisons, we're going to use the 5D Mark IV with the 70-200 millimeter lens. We're going to use the Canon T2i with its 18 to 55 millimeter lens. And then we're going to take this L series lens, which is gigantic, and put it onto this small plastic Rebel T2i. And in this configuration, the setup is it's a little hilarious. The camera body itself weighs less than a pound with the battery in it, and the lens weighs almost 3.5 pounds. It's a very uneven weighted system. So much to the point that I can't actually hold this camera by the camera body because it will start to bend the chassis. But it is still functional, and we're going to see how it performs. And this Canon T2i is 16 years old now. And there are some comparisons where these aren't even a challenge. There are some features and some scenarios where this camera simply will not function. But there are still some areas where it does. So to give this budget setup the best fighting chance it can have, we went outside in full, bright, indirect sunlight to give it the best case scenario for its older digital sensor. This allows us to keep our ISO super low, meaning that this hardware can run at peak efficiency without introducing any noise. And we're going to take a couple of different images with these three distinct configurations. The Canon T2i with its kit lens, the 5D Mark IV with its L series lens, and then the T2i with the L series lens as well. And I want to know if you can spot the differences. Look at the details. Look at the colors and the background blur or the bokeh. Pause the video, really look into each of these images and let me know in the comments which one you think it is. Are we working with the Canon T2i or the 5D Mark IV? We're gonna start with this photo right here. Is this the 5D Mark IV? Is this the Canon T2i? And then this one? All right, if you guessed that photo A was the stock T2i with the kit lens, you're absolutely right. The outdoor lighting was perfect, and so this image is sharp, it's colorful, and it looks pretty good. Okay, and now let's take a look at photo B and photo C. One of these is a $1,500 professional combo, and the other is an $80 combo with a $30 lens. And the correct answer is that photo B is our super old Rebel T2i, and photo C is the 5D Mark IV. Thanks to the professional glass, even this cheap sensor looks so good. But let's take a look at something a little bit different. And in this case, the cheaper camera actually has a feature that helped it beat out the professional camera body, kind of. And that is for shooting super close-up or macro-style photography. Every camera lens has a physical limitation called the minimum focus distance. For this 70 to 200 millimeter lens, you simply cannot get any closer than about 4.5 feet from your focus subject, or the optics just stop working. This is a telephoto lens, and it is not designed to get close to objects. It's meant to put distance between you and your subject. And with our professional 5D Mark IV and that massive full frame sensor, it captures the entire scene surrounding it, meaning that this tiny flower looked small in the middle of this larger framed image. But when I put this lens on the Rebel T2i, we noticed something a little bit different. It actually makes it look closer to this flower, and that is because of the smaller APS-C sensor in here has a crop factor, and that means that it has a 1.6 magnification adjustment on the sensor. And so the 200 millimeter lens actually behaves more like a 320 millimeter lens. And because of that, the flower fills up more of the image on the T2i, allowing for a tighter, cleaner, and more detailed macro-styled photo out of the camera without having to crop the image later in editing, which on the surface level actually makes the use case for the cheap camera better than the full frame camera. However, this is a two-edged sword, because at normal viewing sizes with no crop, the Canon T2i actually looks a little bit better. But if we attempt any type of cropping, the 5D Mark IV wins for one very distinct reason: pixel density. The 5D Mark IV has more physical pixels thanks to its 30 megapixel sensor. And if we try the same type of cropping, the same type of image adjustments to images taken on the T2i, it's just not the same. And so even though there are use cases where a camera body like this is actually a really good option, I'm personally going to stick with my more expensive setup. And honestly, if we're looking at just this camera with its kit lens, the images are still pretty good. You can get nice clarity, you have decent autofocus, and in ideal conditions, these are usable images. You can put them on social media, you could get printouts of them. They're not going to win any awards probably, but it can be a really fun way to get a full-size camera in your hands to just take some photos, enjoy the hobby. So do you need to spend more than $500 to take a nice photo? No, absolutely not. When you buy a modern, expensive camera body, you aren't paying for better art. You're paying for capability, you're paying for speed and reliability. You're paying for a sensor that can see in the dark, autofocus systems that can track fast-moving subjects or to eye tracking. You're paying for multiple card slots so you don't lose any data. Especially if you're using this for part of your income, you need high quality, reliability, and stability. But if you're just a hobbyist learning the craft and having fun, an old entry-level DSLR body is absolutely awesome. And in some cases, it's better for your training because it forces you to learn the basics and the fundamentals of photography to be able to get the best images possible. So grab a cheap used DSLR body, take it outside, invest your money into some good camera glass, and just have fun. Thank you to everyone that leaves comments on my videos and inspires new ideas. Let me know what you would like to see next, and if this is a camera that you would use even 16 years later.